Is the Mr. Steel Toe gonna go to jail? I don't know. I mean, I will say though, you got to be careful. Nick's racked up 1 L. I mean, he's racked up 1 dub, and just like in Major League, well, you get 1, 2 is now 2 in a row, and 3 is called a winning streak. And it's like they have happened before. I mean, Nick's got 1. He got 1 dub finally. It's like that means he's now ready to get a 2nd dub. So, got to be careful though. Got to be careful. Ainsley Hayes says, y'all notice that Rekieta hasn't even been on to talk about the Karen Reed verdict. Way to be invested. Well, I mean, I don't know. Emergency piano recitals, wait for no man. Brad says, Sean, say a prayer for Farron. She's likely okay, but broke her. Yeah, I saw that. Farron was like at a C collar and everything. I don't know what happened to her. Hope she's okay. Broken rib. Yeah, well, she looked like she had a lot more than that. She looked like a car crash or something. So I hope Farron is okay and she mends up. You guys remember Farron Balance from the Johnny Depp days? Something happened to her. We don't really know. Or at least I don't know. Yesterday, in another case involving Nick, another one known as Steve Quest versus Nicholas Robert Rekieta and Rekieta Law, also known as Montegraph. They had a telephone conference had been set for June 18th at 8:45 in the morning. So each attorney, and this was dated June 2nd, each served to Mark Randazza and Matthew Hardin. So you got to call in. Oh, well, we're gonna get to that because it's like, what happened? And then we saw on June 18th, something happened. We now see a filing from the courts, a notice. You're like, in the case of, once again, Montegraph versus Nick, they're set for a remote hearing July 14th at 10:45 a.m. It's going to be held via Zoom. So, if you guys, if you guys get into this, don't be a knob. Don't be a knob. Okay? Don't be a knob if you go. But you can find information here. So, what happened? What happened at the hearing? Well, a bit of an issue there. Bit of an issue. Bit of an issue. Bit of an issue, chat. Bit of an issue. There's a motion filed by Montegraph's attorney, Matthew Hardin. And what was it? A motion to strike and a motion for attorney's fees and cost. You're like, what happened? Well, it's in the case of Montegraph versus Nick. So what do they do? So the motion says that they want to strike the notice of motion and expedited relief to dismiss pursuant to the anti-SLAPP law. And remember, chat, we talked about this. It's not applicable. It's not retroactive. They want attorney's fees and costs arising from the anti-SLAPP motion, as required by Minnesota statutes, and an amount to be established after the motion is adjudicated and stricken. They say they also want to do this. They want to recover cost because of the defendant's failure to appear at the scheduling conference on June 18th. Wow. It's like Nick and Mark Randazza are pulling they read from the same playbook. I don't show up at hearings. And it's funny because Mark Randazza, it was a phone hearing. And where was Mark Randazza? I'm pretty sure Mark Randazza was still in Massachusetts helping the Karen Reed protesters, which that part doing God's work there. Defending the First Amendment, helping these people when they get arrested, going to federal court, having the federal court bitch slap Bev and the other judges to get them to stop abusing the buffer zones and all the other shit they pulled. But it was for phone pretrial. And nobody showed up. It's like, woof. Not even the attorney that's the pro hawk for Mark Randazza, the other attorney they hired. Nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. It's a phone call. That's all you had to do. Just show up on the phone. Good evening, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor. Poop, poop, poop. Easy enough. Easy peasy. So Matthew Hardin wants attorney's fees and cost, which I don't know, man. It's going to be rough. Additionally, the court should award the plaintiff $240 as a result of the failure to appear for the scheduling conference. And Hardin does an entire discussion and breakdown of that. He does a whole declaration here. He prepares an affidavit, basically. He talks about the cases that not only well, this is great. And this is once again, chat. When you fail to appear in court cases, this gets used against you, not only in a criminal setting, but everywhere else. One of the defendants, Nick Rekieta, appears to have failed to appear in court on at least 5 other occasions in recent years, such that this is a reoccurring pattern. Specifically, the Kaneohe County District Court dockets revealed that Nick failed to appear in a 2024 case, a 2024 case, a 2024 case, and a 2023 case. All these driving cases, chat, all these driving cases, Nick is just himself over on. They say additionally, the online dockets reveal Mr. Rekieta failed to appear on behalf of a client in April's case. So there you go. Like, once again, this shit, like, it looks like you're playing games. Nick didn't even show up to the hearing, which that'll happen sometimes. You know, the plaintiff and the defendant, who's the actual party, calls in and like, yeah, I'm here. I don't know where my attorney is. But Nick didn't even bother showing up. There's also an email that was sent to Randazza. And Randazza says, I was under the impression the hearing is off calendar due to the filing. This is a human error and certainly not intended to delay. I don't know. I will work with my local counsel to reschedule this and offer my apology to you in the court. Well, I don't know if anybody's going to buy that. We'll see. Although ultimately what's going to happen, the court's going to be like, all right, naughty, don't do it again. And really, and at the end of the day, that's how courts are going to treat it the first time through, especially with counsel. This is pro se. There'd be like 1,000,000 second chances, but court's probably going to grant a second chance. Scratch off that check and be good with it. So, although, yeah. But good job. We're already setting a good course on this one. There's also now, though, this got filed, and this is kind of this is going to be interesting here, too, because if I was Randazza, this is something I would address with the court, is Hardin wanted something addressed here, but notice what Hardin filed on the 17th of June, so the day before the hearing, a notice to remove judicial officer. And this was filed in the case of Matthew Hardin versus Eric Tollefson in his official capacity as a sheriff in the Kaneohe County. This is the private case that Hardin has filed, and it's 34CV25364. This is the case where Hardin himself is suing the sheriff to get the body cam stuff. And this is where he's requesting that the Honorable Stephen J. Wenzel be removed. And you get those removal rights under the civil rules and the criminal rules in Minnesota. You automatically get an automatic first one. And helping Matthew Hardin is Oliver Bromke. There. Now, I can see Randazza trying to bring this up. Well, you tried to kick him off another case, so what the... But I think Hardin's going to point out, like, it doesn't matter. It's not the right case. So, and Farron Franch TV. Hey, Farron, hope you're doing well. Great job covering the trial, Sean. Well, thank you. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Farron. Hope you mend up all right, and make sure you're wearing a helmet so you don't get like run over by cars. That would be bad. That would be bad. You need to ratchets. What if they already deleted the body cam? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you could sue them for damages, but can't undelete. Like, it's gone. Now, that puts Nick in a bit of a bind, because if he starts trying to sue people for defamation, guess what? He's got copies of it. And now it's stuff within his control. So as much as Nick likes to say he's gonna start suing people, it's like, do you really want to go down the road of discovery, Hassan Pfeffer? Do you really want to go down that road? Because that opens you up worse than the Jamaican Bulls did.